Tractate Bava Batra, page 71, at the top of the page in the Mishnah. This is a continuation of the previous Mishnah, which we study on page 68b. Over there we learn that if someone sells sadeh stam, just a general field without specifications, we say that if it's letzorech hasadeh, if it's a need within the field itself, which means that the field needs its, take for example a crop, that it's attached to the ground, so we hold that it's part of the sale, versus if it's a detached, for example, Beit HaShomer, the guardian temporarily place, or a Mechitzat Kanim, the petition, or a Charuv, we learn about the Kerub trunk. So we learn that all of that has, which we call Chashivut Le'atzmam, independent entity of importance. So here we have the Mishnah said, Lo et abor, velo et agat, velo et ashovach, meaning when one sell, and he is a general selling, it's not included in the sale the pit, like cistern, like a wine press. In those days they used to have those manual, and nor the dovecote. So he said ben charevin, ben yeshuvim, regardless if it's abandoned or it's have the utilized, which means it's not part of the field itself. And then they said v'tzarich likach lo derech. So if you remember, we learned the disputation between Rabbi Akiva and Chachamim. Rabbi Akiva hold that mocher be'ain yafa mocher. If someone sells, he sell it in a sense, in a level of generosity. So he said that therefore the seller needs to purchase from the purchaser, from the buyer, a path that he can go, if needed, between his property to that cistern, for example, or to dovecote within the domain of the field. וצריך לקח לו דרך דברי רבי עקיבא. חכמים אומרים אינו צריך. The sages said the seller doesn't need to purchase the path to the buyer's domain, but because we said be'ain ra'ah according to the Chachamim, which means that since the seller withholds this item for himself, so he reserve also a path to go to whatever he needs. So that's even without preconditional stipulations. Mecharan le'acher, which means if he sold the cistern, the wine press, the dovecote to someone else, and he left the field for himself, Rabbi Akiva אומר, אינו צריך לקנות לו דרך. Rabbi Akiva said that he does not need to purchase for himself a path through the seller's domain to reach what he has bought. Why? Because, as we said, בעין יפה, the seller sell generously. אומרים צריך לקנות לו דרך. The sages said, no, he needs to purchase, needs to purchase for himself a path through the seller's domain. So now we go to the whole idea of giving a gift. So what gift included? So they said במה דברים אמורים, when we hold that all of this involved with the manner of sale, במוכר, אבל בנותן מתנה נותן את כולה. All of that applies when one who sells a field. But one who gives the gift, it's assumed that he gives all of it. That's including everything found in the field. So there is a disputation between the Rambam and the Rashbam. What's involved by the statement kula, everything. The Rambam hold anything that is attached to the ground, כל דבר שמחובר לקרקע, So he said that if it's not attached, lo mechubar, that's not part of the cell. Rashbam hold that even if it's not attached, gam lo mechubar, im tzarich lakarka, if it's needed for the field, so that's part of the gift. So basically the machloket between the Rambam and Rashbam, in a sense, is what does that mean when you use the term hakol when it's come to gift? Ha'achim shechalku. Now we are speaking about a brothers that divided a inherited estate from the late father. Zachu besadeh, zachu bechula. Whoever received the field, he received also the cistern, the press wine, the dovecoat, etc. Because their intent is to total split between them, not to leave anything in between. Tosfot have a comment here, what exactly happened when is a problematic, like for example a needed path for one brother to go through the other. Anyway, hamachazik benichsei hager, we learn many times that the convert is a separate entity and therefore there is no sense of leftover, it's hefker. So since they are not a yoshim, there is nobody else to take over what's left, so they hold hamachzik benichsei hager, chzik basadeh, chzik bechula. So it means even the sides of the Rashbam hold that we said earlier is davar she'ein lo meitzar, that if, for example, the next door field, so usually it's not, but because it's heger, therefore it can acquire also the other, the next door. Hamakdish et hasadeh hekdish et kula. Now is a different entity, one who consecrated. He took a field and he consecrated, so basically it's everything. Why? We assume that donation is giving as a consecrated item, it's with a general eye. Rabbi Shimon omer hamagdish tasadeh lo hikdish. No, he is basically consecrated, but it's not included any of the items that are ordinarily excluded from the sale. Lo hikdish ela et hacharuv hamurkav v'tzadan shikma. We explained that in the past, yesterday and day before yesterday, the grafted carob tree and the sycamore trunk, all those, it's not part of the regular sale. So therefore, when it's come to consecrated item, it's not part of the sale. As you see, the Mishnah divided between a sale and a gift. And we said that when it's come to a gift, that's not part of the sale. Ma'ishna mecher or ma'ishna matana. What you differentiate between gift and sale. So the Gemara said, Piresh Yehuda ben Nekosa lifnei Revi, ze perush veze lo perush, which means when the giver of the gift gave it to the other entity, so he spelled out, said it clearly, unequivocally, specifically. So therefore, he acquired everything versus sell, he did not spell out. So it's only what he said in very clear, lucid way in advance. Hai ze perush veze lo perush, ze lo perush veze lo perushu. Because the Mishnah said general statement of a sale, did not say specifically. Ela ze ben Yehuda ben Nekosa meant the one who gives a gift, to give it with generous eye, haya lo lefaresh, veze lo haya lo lefaresh. Why? Because sale obviously it's under the pressure. So then he need to spell out. Otherwise, not. Hahu, here is a story that a certain person who said to another, give to Mr. So-and-so a house containing 100 barrels as a gift. He totally forgot that there are 120. Amar Mar Zutra me'a amar li, 120 lo amar li. Mar Zutra said, it was spelled out as 100, that's all. So the recipient received only the portion that the house hold 100 barrels. Rav Ashi amar milot nan b'meh dvarim omurim b'mocher. What we said so far, that all of that applies to a sale, but if it was a gift, אבל נותן מתנה נותן את כולן, he gives all that generous eyes. עלמא מאן דאיב מתנה בעין יפה יהיב. הכנה ממאי דאיב מתנה בעין יפה יהיב. So Rav Ashi totally disagree, and he said that even if you're not always precise in his wording, but we assume that the donor intended to give the recipient the entire house, which has contained more than 100 barrels. So it's important to know that there is a disputation between the Ritva and the Mukhe Yosef, what exactly involved in a situation like that, if it's 120 or not. The Mishneh LaMelech asks, how about if someone just said in general, give leploni me'az zehuvim, give a purse that contained 100 coin to someone, and you open it and it was 120. Do you need to give him 120 or only 100? Very similar, the Netivot HaMishpat asks question about the differentiation between here and what we learned earlier about selling a estate. He tried to say that estate, it's different. When it's come to a purse, he holds strongly that it has to be solely and only 100 and not 120. That's Netivot HaMishpat. The Chidushei Harim, you see it in the book called Siach Sarfei Kodesh. He said that, he commented, what we said on Shabbat, Yismach Moshe b'matnat chelko, it's part of the morning service on Shabbat. So they said that according to the Kabbalistic rabbi, in Shabbat, Moshe Rabbeinu returned to those ktarim shenitnu l'Yisrael, those crown that was given to the Jewish people when they perceived naaseh lenishma. So therefore, when it returned to us on Shabbat, so the whole idea is Moshe Rabbeinu was a loyal shepherd to Am Yisrael. He wants to return to Israel. So therefore, since Shabbat is called Matana Tova, a great gift, and Noten Be'ayin Yafa Noten, that one who gives with full heart. Therefore, when it's giving the Shabbat to Am Yisrael, every Shabbat, he can gives everything, including the crowns. So that's the whole idea of Yismach Moshe Matchat Chelko, that we receive a special crown on Shabbat. My brother-in-law elaborates on that a lot in his book Daf al Daf, Rabbi David Avraham Mendelbaum. Anyway, המקדיש את השדה הקדיש. So the Mishnah said that one who consecrated the field and consecrated all of it. So the Rabbi Shimon said only Charuv and Sadan HaShikma. אמר רב יהודה אף על גב דאמור רבנן הקונה שני אילנות בתוך של חברו, הרי זה לא קנה, מכר קרקע ושייר שני אילנות לפניו, יש לו קרקע. But if he sold and he left 2 trees, it is. ואפילו רבי עקיבא דאמר מוכר בעין יפה מוכר, even according to Rabbi Akiva that said that the seller who sells generously and does not retain anything for himself, hanami legabei בור ודות, all of that apply to a pit and cistern which do not weaken the land, and therefore the seller feels no need to protect himself from the potential claims of the buyer. But he said, it's not weaken the land. But when it's come to tree which do weaken the land, as they draw water and nourish it from the soil. So the whole idea is, אם השורש של העצים, if the roots of the trees destroy the land, for example, they מפריעים לגשם לעבור, they disturb the rain from coming. So it's a disputation among the Rishonim, מחלוקת Rishonim, when the purchaser can ask the other party to leave. The Rashbam said only when it's dry out, while others said it immediately. Anyway, page 71b, 71b, אם איתה דלא שיער לימלא עקור אילנך שקול וזיל. So if it is so that the prior owner did not retain some of the land for himself. The buyer said, uproot your tree and leave. רבי שמעון אומר, המקדיש את השדה לא הקדיש אל החרוב, רבי שמעון אומר, המקדיש את השדה לא הקדיש אל החרוב המורכב ושדה השקמה. ותנא למה רבי שמעון, מה טעם עולים ויונקים משדה הקדש, because the source of fruit is drawn and nourished from the consecrated field. So it's considering gadel mehekdesh, the Rashbam said, and therefore it's part of the hekdesh. If you tell me that it's not enough that he have the right to have the yanik kala ilanot, but he left for himself the gufa karka, so that's the way Rav Huna said, ki kayam ke midinafke kayam ke. Rabbi Shimon amar ki Rabbi Akiva, Rav Huna de amar ki Rabbanan. So the Gemara said ki Rabbanan, that's pshita. So they said nafkamina di naflei shatil lehu. So say that if the trees fall or die, he can plant them again.
Shula